Everybody, the stream is live, and your host now.
Okay, and you
Thank
should
you.
be co-host now.
Yes, thank
We should probably see some people joining very soon. Yep, I see a learner already popping in. Cool. Hi, Gerda. Welcome. You're the first one in, other than me and Max. We just got to wait a few more to come in. Hi, Leslie. Welcome. Denise. Welcome. Hiya. So glad you people are joining today. My name is Ty. I'm going to be your guide today. I doubt if it's just going to be the four of us. So let's give it another minute. See if a few more learners pop in. Oh yeah. There they come. Hi Doris, welcome. Hi Karen, glad you were able to join us. Let me go ahead and start talking about a couple of things. You may notice that you have Ty, that's me, and you have Max. Max is our co-host today. He's riding the technical seat. So if you have any questions of a technical nature during class, feel free to chat with Max, and he'll do his best to help you. During class, I won't be it won't be easy to ask me questions in the chat or verbal, though hopefully there'll be time at the end when I can open the floor to questions in chat and verbal. But we'll see how time goes. I always try to leave a little time at the end. Hi, Melinda. Welcome. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to shift over and get some slides to share with you. I think a couple of you are new to me. I recognize a couple of names, but then a couple of names seem to be new to me. So we'll start at the very beginning, because that's a very good place to start. Welcome to Tai Chi for Beginners. Hopefully there'll be other classes down the road, but we're gonna for quite some time we're gonna stick to beginner sequences, and right now we're focused on one specific sequence that has multiple parts. It's a Sung style, and I go into detail in the intro class, the Tai Chi, why it's great for seniors, what Sung style means. So if you haven't been in Why It's Great for Seniors, I recommend you stopping in at least once and just kind of getting a little bit of history of Tai Chi. But we've been working on part one for the last week or two, and I'm going to start introducing part two. As a matter of fact, my class last night, we worked on part two. Let's talk about what that includes in just a minute. I live in Orlando, Florida, in the U.S. I'm in the Eastern Time Zone in a town called Lake Mary, Florida. It's just a suburb of Orlando. I'm on the opposite side of Orlando from Disney World. I have an education in biology, psychology, and computer science. Surprisingly, all three of those are actually quite related. I went into a career working in database development for flight simulators with the DoD, project management for the USDA, and eventually went into working at medical centers in management for IT, and then eventually became a consultant traveling around to multiple medical centers around U.S. and Canada and Europe, helping hospitals utilize their data more fully. Taught a lot of classes. I am trained in and I practice Kundalini Yoga, I'm also trained in and sometimes practice Hatha yoga. Kundalini is my first love. I teach Sung style Tai Chi, and I may eventually teach Wu style. Again, that's something you can learn about in the intro class, why it's great for seniors. Just be aware that Sung style is very gentle. It's perfect for us. And I'm also trained and I do practice therapeutic Qigong. If you don't know what Qigong is, it's the basis for Tai Chi. All the forms we do in Tai Chi actually were developed originally in Qigong. And a lady on Get Set Up named Ellen teaches great Qigong classes. If you haven't been in one, I highly recommend you stop in and check out Ellen's class. But for today, I'm your guide, and I'm going to help you with Sung style Tai Chi forms as you learn the practice. We deal with mechanics in class, and in your own practice, eventually those mechanics become more flowing. But that comes with experience. And I hope eventually that you will expand from the mechanics and move into a more deeper meditative practice. But it'll come. We're with Get Set Up, getsetup.io. It's a great website, a great company that helps us learn from each other. We all have useful skills that we've learned in our experience in our life. And here's a place where we can share them with each other, and all of us can learn to do more new, wonderful things. Now, ideally, I can see you in your camera for this class, because in Tai Chi, it really does help me to know what you're doing. Is it working for you? Does it seem like I'm going too slowly or too quickly? I try to adapt. So if you're comfortable at all, please turn your camera on. I'd love to see you. And if you don't want to, that's acceptable. And maybe in a future class, you will feel more comfortable and turn the camera on. We're all beginners here. Don't sweat whether you're doing it right or wrong. Just we're in our practice. That's what a practice is. We practice. Now, between classes, it'd be nice if you could do a daily practice of 5 minutes or so. And to help with that, you might want to request a recording of this class. You just have to email help@getsetup.io, and they'll fix you up with a copy of the recording. And you can use that to guide you until you're in a class with me again. Also, I will send you notes at the end with a description of one of the forms that'll help you understand the movements if you forgot them. If you didn't make it in the registration, because sometimes these classes fill up, and you're here with live stream, thank you for coming in that direction. Love to have you. The best way is to try to get registered at a class in the future and join us interactively. Get Set Up is not paid to promote any specific products or any specific services. We're just here to guide each other. Follow your doctor's advice. The assumption here that I'm making is that you've already talked to your doctor and you know what limitations you have in movement, and you will honor those limitations based on that advice, especially if you have any health conditions or you're taking any medications. Your doctor's words are priority number one, that you follow that advice no matter what I say we do in class. We have certain objectives that we're going to follow in Tai Chi. We're working to develop an integration of mind and body. Of course, your mind and body works together, but it can work more integratedly than we commonly do. We do this with breath and movement. We improve the balance. Through postural alignment improvement and body awareness, we pick up better balance in our Tai Chi practice, and it helps us with fall prevention. Overall, this starts to help us decrease the effects of stress because we're starting to calm the mind, and we're learning about triggering the relaxation response. The calmer you get and the slower you move in your Tai Chi practice, the more you trigger the relaxation response, and that is the antidote to stress. You can't stop stress, but you can give yourself the antidote. We're going to slow down. In class, we kind of go quickly because I have short time to get a lot of information to you, but hopefully in your own practice, you can practice slower. And the slower you go, the more you learn to be in the moment, and the more you live life more fully. Overall, Tai Chi helps us be healthier because it's helping the body to work more efficiently. Gentle movement makes your organs and glands work. You don't have to run a 10K or a marathon or weightlift. You need to just move. And certain parts of the body only work with movement and gentle movement takes care of that need. Makes us feel better. Okay, part one agenda, which is what we've been working on the last couple of weeks, I refer to it as the single whip sequence. If you look down the left side of the screen that's labeled right, we're doing single whip to the right. So we've been studying Wuji, the universal posture, which is a standing form, gives us balance. The commencement, which is just, hey, let's get moving. The opening close, the single whip right, the open curtain using the left hand, and waving hands in the clouds. Those of you who have been with me, this is what we've been practicing. We're going to eventually do it to the left also. Maybe you've been practicing to the left while I teach to the right. That's fine. Just as long as you're learning one side at a time. I just know sometimes coming across the image in the screen, it looks like I'm moving to the left, and some people are following my movement instead of my words. That's fine. Part two consists of what I call Brush the Knee series. Brush the knee right, play the lute, parry and punch, block and close, push the mountain, and open and close. This is a little more difficult than part one. So I kind of want to do a survey and see how many new people and how many experienced people we have in class today and decide which one we want to do today, because I'm inclined to do brush the knee. But we'll see. I'll ask you your opinion before we start. Practice guidelines that apply to every class. We're pursuing mindfulness, being in the present moment. We're pursuing slow movement, postural alignment, better posture, weight separation, breath awareness, integrated movement, active relaxation, and all the mind-body principles. These are the guidelines that I hope to bring into class repeatedly. Today we are going to talk about slow movement. That'll be the one that we focus on today, because most exercise programs do not focus on slow movement. They focus on exertion and straining, bicep curls, for example, and they're using that as a means to achieve increased strength and endurance. Tai Chi doesn't go that route. It facilitates getting stronger and building endurance, but we do it through slow, relaxed movement and breath. Always breathing, not holding your breath. The slower the movement, the greater the strength and the endurance benefit. You will be surprised that after the end of a training class like today, you may notice your knees or maybe your thighs, and you're going to realize I did something. It shouldn't be pain. If you feel any pain, then you need to talk to your doctor and or slow down, do less the next class. Maybe you're bending your knees too much. Instead of soft knees, maybe you're squatting a little bit. You need to back off because there should never be any pain. So with that being said, let's get started in our practice. You can be standing, you can be seated, or you can stand with a chair handy for support. Just make sure it doesn't have wheels on it. You're not going to roll. That chair is not going to roll with you. Sometimes it's just nice to have something to touch for a little extra support and help us with our balance. You practice in whatever way serves you best. I have people who like to start standing and then go seated halfway through. Wear comfortable, loose-fitting clothes. Whatever is good for you and feels good and is loose-fitting works perfectly. And you want some comfortable shoes, maybe tennis shoes, deck shoes. Maybe you want to, if you're coming to class often, you may want to go online and find what is formal Tai Chi shoes. Before I put mine on, I'll show them to you when I switch back the video. They're pretty inexpensive. I paid $12 for mine 8 years ago, and they're still they're almost like new. Also, have water nearby. If you don't have it today, bring it to class next time, because it's nice at least halfway through class to take a sip of water or more. You want to stay hydrated. Okay, with that being said, let me stop the share. And let's see. Oh, we have 13 people today. How many people have been with me before? Either thumbs up in the picture, or can you put a hands up in the little icons? Go to reactions and you can make an image in your square. Okay, all the visual people. Okay, Rosemary just popped in. I got 4. Looks like everybody's been with me before, or most people have. Cool. We're going to do brush the knee then. If you are here for the first time, don't let brush the knee bother you. You've got plenty of time to learn it. Like I say, this part 2 is a little more difficult than part 1, but not excessively. Just don't let it challenge you too much. Come back when we're doing part 1 if you want to. And with that being said, let me get some music playing. Can you hear the music? Cool. Okay.
It's very soft.
I can turn that up. Thanks for speaking up. Is that better?
Yep, it's a little better. Thank you.
There's a little more. I'm just afraid you may not hear me. So if it's too loud to hear me, let me know. But I'll try to speak loudly.
We hear you fine. It's the music that's
cool. I did mention that I'd show you my shoes. For those who haven't seen my shoes before, this is what they look like. They're inexpensive, very soft-soled. Sole is actually made of cotton, though it seems rubberized. Like I say, very inexpensive, but they're great for practice. And for me, when I put them on, it tells me, hey, it's time to start. So, if you want to come standing, let me spotlight me. There we go. I'm turning on a light so you can see my feet and shoes a little better for this. Doesn't make the image very pretty, but it's useful. There, you can see my feet now. So, if you're seated, then sit up tall. If you're standing, stand tall. And that's all that means is pull that head to the sky. It's as though there's a cord on your crown just lifting you up to the sky. Kind of stretches your backbone. Tuck your chin just a little to straighten your neck. Now, take your hips and drop your tailbone down a little bit. It's going to pivot your hips. And that kind of bends the knees a little, gives you those soft knees and straightens your lower back. Let your shoulders go soft and your arms just drape down. As I mentioned, the soft knees, your ankles should be about hips width apart or maybe just a little wider. Whatever serves you. This is what we call universal posture, also called Wuji. We always use Wuji as our starting point. It's a meditative posture. And breathe into your belly lightly. Not shallow, not full, just lightly. Kind of a natural breath into your belly. Let every exhale be a time that you just relax something. Let something go. Maybe those shoulders can relax a little bit more. Maybe you can sink into the knees a little. As in life, a Tai Chi exhale is when you let something go. It's when you start relaxing, you find that relaxation response, you find that comfort. I like to call it the zero stress zone. Now bring your hands up to the heart center, as though you're holding a small ball or a cantaloupe. The fingers are soft and slightly curved. And then you just open about 2 inches maybe, and then close. Notice how my body lifted. Just inhale and do a little lift. And exhale, settle back into those soft knees. It feels good to do this. You can actually enjoy the experience. This is called an open close. So, we start by finding our Wuji. We bring our hands to the chest and do an open and close. For brush the knee, you start by taking one hand forward. I'm going to take my right hand forward. You can do it either right or left. I'm doing the right hand forward, and then that right hand's going to come back toward my face. That's the first thing we do is just hand goes out, hand comes in. Beautiful. Now, come back to your open and close. I want you to raise your right heel, leaving your right toe on the floor. Just raise your right heel and turn it out just a little. And then bring your weight down on the heel. That's it. We just start in Wuji and then raise the heel and turn it a little. Once you get your weight on that right foot, turn your torso. I'm turning it to the left. And I'm taking my left foot now and turning it. So my feet are aimed in different directions now, basically. But I'm getting ready to put weight on that left foot. Let's do that again. Come back to the Wuji and the energy ball. Lift the right heel. Turn it out and put it down. Turn to your left. You can pivot on that left heel if you like. And then put the foot down and put the weight on the left knee. You've basically done a left-hand turn. Let's do that again. Pivot on the right toe. Pivot on the left heel. And you're facing left. Beautiful. Not so hard. Let's come back to our Wuji and our energy ball. Now, we're going to take our hand, and for brush the knee, you're going to take the hand and come forward. In my case, it's the right hand. Just as I'm lifting that right heel and turning it out, the left hand just sort of swishes down by your thigh. Turn on your left heel as that hand comes towards your face. Then you turn your face to the left, and that left hand turns and goes, you push out away from your face, staring at the back of your hand. You've done, let me show you what it looks like in one continuous motion. Your weight now is pushing against that left foot. So let's try that again. This is the hardest movement in this sequence. In part 2 sequence, this is the hardest movement. So let's do an open close. Inhale and exhale. Brush the knee. Right heel goes out. Right hand goes out in front. Turn on your left foot. Hand comes towards your face. The face and the hand look to your left as you push out over that left knee. You're basically first brushing the knee with your left hand, and then you're stepping and brushing over the left knee by pushing out. So let's do that again. Open, close, brush the knee. The right hand goes out, the left hand goes down. Pivot on your right toe, pivot on your left heel, and push. Nice. The movement in brush the knees, I think, a little more fun than some of the moves in part 1. And again, if you're doing it to the right, that's fine. I don't care which direction you're learning it, because we're eventually going to learn it both directions. So from the energy ball, open and close. Brush the knee. Hand goes out. Pivot on your right toe. Pivot on your left heel. The hand comes towards your face. The face turns, and the hand pushes away. Now, as the weight is on your left foot, I want to correct my right foot. My right foot's at an odd angle right now, so I'm just going to raise on my toe and correct it so it's pointing exactly the same direction as the left. Does that make sense? Let's start again and do that one more time while I've got the words. Open and close. Brush the knee. Pivot on the right toe. Bring the right heel down. Pivot on the left heel. Push out over the left knee. You can rise up on that toe at this point and then either lift the foot or rotate on the toe and bring the heel down to adjust it. Any way that works for you. And then you bring the weight back on the right foot. So again, open, close, brush the knee left, pivot on the right toe, bring it down on the right heel, hand in front, step to the left and push out over the left knee, adjust that right foot. I'm lifting mine this time and putting the toe back down and then the heel and bringing my weight back on that heel. So we've kind of done a little rocking motion there. Watch me as I do this. We're putting the weight on the right foot. We're taking the weight to the left foot, adjusting the right foot, and bringing the weight back on the right foot. So we kind of did this little left rock, right rock. We talk about weight separation in some of our previous classes. Notice how your weight shifted from foot to foot while we did that. So open, close, brush the knee left. Pivot on that right toe, pushing the left heel out. Right hand goes out in front, left drops. Pivot on the left heel, push out over that left knee, correct the right foot and come back on it. And lift that left toe. My left toe's in the air now as my right heel went down. As I rocked back on my right foot, the left toe just came up. I'll keep saying all this. You don't have to memorize everything all at once. That is brush the knee, which is instrumental in this sequence, and if we do part 3 later, it's used in part 3. After brush the knee, we're going to do play the lute. Play the lute to me is kind of fun. It's very simple, but there's some sort of pleasure about doing it. So let me show you the whole sequence that we're doing today, and you might get an idea. So brush, I'm going to open and close. I'm going to brush the knee. As my weight comes back on my right foot, I play the lute. The hands just pass each other, facing each other. That's all play the lute is. Play the lute is just the hands passing each other. So, play the lute. Then we're going to parry. Now, parry, it's tricky for a lot of people because we're going to switch our top palm down and our lower palm up. So it's like play the lute. And then parry, you bring the right hand, or in my case, the right hand under the left. So it's like play the lute. I did that backwards. Play the lute and parry. Watch me do it from the side. Play the lute, and I'm going to detail it as we do it together in a minute. And then parry. And then I'm going to take a step, and then I'm going to parry again. I'm going to punch with my fist, close, push the mountain, and come back to center. That's what we're working on today. So let's start again with the open and close. It's a lot to squeeze into a few minutes, I know, but we'll repeat it often. Open and close. Brush the knee. The right palm goes out in front of you, and your weight goes to your right heel. Rotate the left heel as the hand comes toward the face. Push out over the left knee. Weights on the left foot. Adjust that right foot. Come back on it as you play the lute. The left hand and the right hand pass each other, facing each other left to right. Now, turn the left hand face down. Turn the right hand face up. As you step on the left foot, bring the weight down. Parry the right hand under the left. Perfect. I'm going to turn my back to you and give you a chance to follow me that way. So my hands are at my heart center, and I'm going to do an open. Open and close. Brush the knee. My right hand goes forward. Right toe. Bring my my right heel out a little bit. Pivot on my left heel as my hand comes toward my face. And push out over my left knee as my weight goes to my left foot. I'm going to correct that right foot now, and I'm going to bring my weight back on the right foot as I play the lute. And my left toe rises in the air. As my weight goes down on my left foot, I'm going to parry the right hand under the left. I'm going to take a step and then parry my left hand under the right. So let's take that in a little more forward now. Open and close. Brush the knee. Pivot on the right toe. Weights on the right foot. Bring the hand toward the face. Pivot on the left heel. Push out with the right hand as you bring your weight down on the left foot. Correct the right foot. Bring the weight down as you play the lute. The left hand and the right hand pass each other. Your weight's on the right foot now. As you bring the weight down on the left foot, you turn the right palm down, the left palm down, and the right palm up, and you parry. Your right hand's extended, so bring the right foot and take a step. I'm losing my balance. Take a step, and then flip the hands down the other way. The right hand is down, the left hand is up, and you parry. I know that's a lot. I'm going to do it again backwards. I think sometimes that works better for people. Hands are at my heart. I'm going to open and close. Brush the knee left. I'm going to take my right heel, pivot out on the toe, and put that heel down. The right hand goes forward. As that hand comes back toward my face, I'm turning on my left heel. I'm going to push that hand out over my left knee. My weight's on my left foot. Correct my right foot. Bring my weight back on the right foot as I play the lute. Turn the top hand down, turn the bottom hand up, so the palms are facing each other up and down. As you step on that forward foot, bring the back hand forward and the forward hand back to pass each other. Your weight's on that front foot. Bring the back foot up and take a step. Whatever hand is in front of you and high, put that palm down. The other hand goes palm up. And you parry again with that low palm under the, passing under the upper palm. Boy, this is hard to say. And eventually you'll take another step. I'm going to do it walking towards you. Nope, got to do it this way. So, open and close. Brush the knee. Your right hand goes forward. In my case, it's my right hand. Go out on my right heel and bring my weight down. Pivot on my left heel and bring that hand in. Allow the hand to come forward. Adjust that back foot so that the feet are pointing the same direction, and bring your weight back on the right foot as you play the lute. The palms are facing each other left or right. I brought my left foot up in the air to give me balance on my right foot. So I'm going to turn the upper hand down. The lower hand will face up. As I bring my weight on that forward foot, the lower hand goes under the upper hand. I'm going to take a step with that right foot. Flip the upper hand down. Flip the lower hand up. And parry again. Take a step with the left foot. Make a fist out of both hands. And cross at the wrist. We call this a punch. So it's basically punch. Now, draw back. And then push a little low and up, just a little bit. This is called push the mountain. This is fun because if you rise up on your right foot on the toe, all you have to do is pivot on that toe, pivot on the left heel, and come back for an open and close. I know that's a lot. That's why we're going to go through it a lot of times. So, hands at the heart center, open and close. Brush the knee. Pivot on your right toe and bring that right heel out. Pivot on the left heel, turn left. Bring the hand toward your face and push out over the left knee. Rising up on your right toe, correct that back foot. Bring your weight on the back foot and play the lute. Hands facing each other as the left toe rises in the air. Bring your weight down on the left foot. Parry the right hand under the left. Step with the right foot. Flip the hands and parry the left under the right. Take a step with that left foot, make a fist, and punch. Pull back or close. Push the mountain, bringing the weight to the left foot. Rise on your right toe and pivot. Pivot on the left heel. Open and close. This is where you discover if you took small steps. If you took big steps, you're going to end up like this at the end. But if you took small steps, you should end up pretty much back in the same position where you started. We'll be working on this sequence quite a bit over the next couple of weeks, and then we're going to start integrating it with the first sequence more. So, bring your hands to heart center and open and close. Press the knee, brush the knee, sorry. Pivot on your right toe and bring the right heel out. Bring the right hand forward as you drop your left hand. Pivot on the left heel so you can turn left. Bring the hand toward your face. Push it out over the left knee as you bring your weight to the left foot. Adjust your right foot so that you can bring the weight back on it and play the lute. The hands are facing each other as you play the lute. Now bring your weight down on the left foot as you flip the hands and parry the right hand under the left. Your weight's on the left foot, so take a step with the right. Flip the hands so you can parry the other hand under. Take a step, make a fist, and punch. Pull back, your weight's on the right foot or the back foot, however you're doing it. Push the mountain, coming up on your back toe, pivot. Pivot on the other heel, open and close. Find your Wuji. I know we're all kind of tense and tight right now from all these mechanics. Got to go back and try to find that relaxing Wuji form for a minute. Open and close. Brush the knee. Hand comes forward. Pivot on the toe. The weight goes to the same foot as the upper hand. Pivot on the other heel as the hand comes toward the face and brushes out toward the knee. That back foot now can be corrected and then bring your weight on the back foot as you play the lute. Step onto that forward foot as you parry. Take a step with the back foot and flip the hands to parry the other way. Take a step with the back foot to punch. Bring your weight to the back foot as you pull back or close. Weight goes to the forward foot as you push the mountain. On your back foot, come up on the toe and pivot. Pivot on the other heel and open and close. Now remember, play the lute is like this. The hands are facing each other and they cross. One's high and one's low. So it's like it's like you're strumming strings on a lute. I assume that's what a lute is. But you're playing the lute. And then for parry, all you do is you flip that upper hand down, flip the lower hand up, and then parry is the same movement, but one's going under the other hand. And then you flip the hands and do it again. So let's do that again. Play the lute. Flip the hands and parry. Flip them and parry. You get it very quickly. Play the lute, parry, and parry. We'll worry more about some of the things with the feet in a later session. If we can get the arms today, we're doing good, are doing well. Find your Wuji and let's take at least 30 seconds to kind of fit into our Wuji. And Maybe feel a little grounded in our pose. See if we can feel all four corners of each foot. Relax our shoulders, soften the knees. Relax our neck and breathe lightly into the belly. This is far more important than memorizing 108 forms, is relaxing in the body and feeling it. Now a deep inhale with me. One good inhale. Inhale, really fill the tummy and the chest, and then exhale all that air. Really push it out. Nice. Now bring the hands to heart center for an open and a close. And we're going to brush the knee. In my case, I'm taking my right hand forward, pivoting on my right toe, bringing my weight down on that foot, pivoting on the other heel 90 degrees as that hand comes toward my face. My face and hand now go out to the side over that extended knee as my weight goes to that forward foot. Correct that back foot. Just move it in line with the forward foot and bring your weight back on it as you play the lute. The hands just pass each other. Now, bring your weight down on the forward foot as you parry. The lower hand always goes under the upper. Take a step, reverse the hands and parry again. Take a step. The back hand becomes a fist, forward hand becomes a fist, and you punch right across the wrist. One hand goes over the others by the wrist. That's your punch. Weight comes to the back foot as you open your fingers and come back. This is called a close or a pullback. And then bring the weight to the forward foot as you push the mountain and come up on your back toe. Pivot on that back toe. Pivot on that other heel. Adjusting if you need to. Open and close. Nice. You guys are getting it. Let's do that again. I'm going to turn my back to you. I'm in my Wuji, soft knees. Hands are at heart center, and I'm going to open and close. Brush the knee. My right hand I'm sending forward so I can see my right palm. Raising on my right toe and turning my right heel out. Turning my left foot 90 degrees. The right hand comes toward my face and pushes out over that forward knee, and my weight goes to that forward knee. Correct that back foot and bring your weight to the back foot as you play the lute. The hands just pass each other, strumming strings. As you bring your weight to the forward foot again, turn your hands to where they're facing up and down and parry one under the other. Weight's on the forward foot. Bring the back foot forward and take a step. Flip the hands, parry the underhand past the upper hand. Take another step with the back foot goes forward with a step. Make fist and punch. Bring your weight to the back foot. The forward toe comes up a little. Push the mountain as the toe goes down and your back heel comes up. Rotate on that back toe. Rotate on the forward heel. And open and close. Back to your Wuji. Open and close. Brush the knee. Hand goes forward. Weight goes to the same foot as your hand. Turn the other foot 90 degrees and bring that hand toward your face, and it pushes out over that forward knee. You lightly can come up on that back heel to correct it, and then bring your weight to that back foot as you play the lute. As you bring the weight to the forward foot, parry one hand under the other. Take a step with the back foot and switch hands, parry under to over, one hand under the other. Take a step with the back foot and punch. Draw back with your weight on the back foot. Push the mountain. Pivot on the back toe. Pivot on the forward heel and open and close. And when you know you're at the end of your practice, just allow the hands to come forward and rotate the shoulders down and settle into your body. That's a reminder to release. At the end of your practice, you want to come back and just release everything. It's a great time to go back into Wuji and meditate for a few minutes. If you want to come seated.
You Ty? Ty?
Let me turn off the music. Hang on
Okay.
just a moment. Yes, who's speaking?
Karen. I was
Hi.
just wondering, when you have a smaller group like this, if we could do the whole thing, the part 1 and part 2 at the end just before we leave.
Optimally, that's exactly what I want to do, but I want to make sure the group is experienced in both of them before I do that.
Okay.
You know, I love the fact we had a small group today, but I know a couple of people might be brand new
Right.
and they would have no idea what we're doing with that part 1.
Right.
I hope that hopefully we will grow and I can actually create a session called just Tai Chi practice.
Oh, okay.
And that's my hope. So if you guys want to propose that to the powers that be, please do. Because I think it would be very, not now, but maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, just do a practice on parts 1 and 2 for the session, you know? So yeah, Karen, I love the idea. Promote it for me.
Okay, we'll do.
I'll put in a request on my end because that would just create a whole new class, maybe once a week or once every 2 weeks called practice.
Love it.
But yeah, great idea. Great minds work alike, Karen. I mean, geez. My problem is I have to walk with these classes before I run. And we're actually proving ourselves to get set up that we have a viable a series going here, and then they'll let me see. They already allowed me to add Shibashi, so they're coming across as we expand. So yeah, I like the idea of having beginner and practice, or called it beginner practice maybe. Let me. We need to go back to the slides for just a moment. Oh, it's hidden. That's why I couldn't get to it. Okay, hopefully you can see my slides now. Remember, Tai Chi is a slow, mindful movement practice. That part never changes. Actually, in class, I always feel like I'm rushing it. I always feel like I'm running in Tai Chi. And I know it comes across that way sometimes because we only have 30 or 35 minutes to get through something. And I really do think it's important to formally teach an entire sequence in one class. I don't want to teach the first half of Brush the Knee in one class and the second half in another class. It would make no sense. So I've got to squeeze these 6 forms into one class. So I hope you practice them at home, maybe from the recording, but slow it down and go a little slower and start building a little bit more mindful movement and flow with it. And maybe if we ever do get a practice session, we can slow it down and I'll talk less. And I know you guys would love that if I would shut up sometimes. I would. I'd love it if I would shut up sometimes. Always put on some music with your practice. You don't have to, but I recommend it because to me, the music affects me. I'm affected by smells. I'm affected by sounds. Soft, easy listening music. In my case, I love soft classical or nature sounds or Asian music like I was just playing. What you heard today in most of my classes are things I've just recorded off of YouTube. You go to YouTube and you search for Tai Chi and you find all these beautiful sequences and all this beautiful music. And so I've just been using it in class. Tai Chi is a metaphor for life. We want to embrace challenges. We all have challenges. We have the choice of embracing them or not. Tai Chi, like today's session, was more challenging than part one. Embrace it. Take it on. You will be surprised how quickly you learn it. And as I mentioned, slow down. Maintain a focus. Always take slow breaths. Let the movement be driven by your slow breathing. It's not the breathe with the movement. Move with the breath. Slow your breath, slow your movement. Oh, thank you all for coming. If you're having some experiences on Get Set Up that you would be willing to share, we want to hear about it. Go on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, please share, or just email Liz. Liz at getsetup.io. Would love to take your stories to her blog. Some related classes, check out Qigong. If you haven't done Qigong, please check it out. Ellen does a great class. Slow flow yoga. Pick and choose which yoga class is for you. Some of them these days, even on Get Set Up, are getting quite vigorous. If you don't want a vigorous yoga class, make sure you pick out a nice, slow, even chair-based if you want to. I do chair yoga. I love it. But check it out and see if it supports you in your practice. Next, of course, I'll be doing more Tai Chi for beginners. And if you haven't been in my Shibashi class, we've only had one so far, please check it out. It's Tai Chi done without an exact connective flow. We're going to do, Shibashi stands for 18 movements. We will do warm-ups and then 18 movements, one right after the other in a designed flow, but it's not like one flows into the next. We do the exercise, then we do the next exercise, then we do the next exercise. Because Shibashi is designed more to exercise our body. Every part of your body, every joint's going to get used, but in a gentle, enjoyable fashion. One of the nicest comments I got in the class the other day was, finally, an exercise class I enjoy. I felt so rewarded that someone said that. Because Shibashi, it's not like going to the gym and doing bicep curls and doing treadmill, but you will move everything in your whole body. You can do it seated, you can do it standing. You hardly move your feet at all in Shibashi. And but at the end, you really know you've done something. You do feel it. So come try Shibashi. Yes.
Hi, quick question. If you're new to Tai Chi, can you still do Shibashi or does it move pretty fast?
No, it does not move quickly at all, in the sense that, first of all, remember, you don't have to remember anything. All you do is watch me and follow. I'll give a little verbal stuff. And if you think, if I'm doing something that feels too slowly, don't do it as quickly. Like if I do one exercise in Shibashi for 6 times, slow it down and do it 4 times.
Okay.
So
great.
you can adjust it to whatever suits you.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Yeah,
you.
seriously, I think Shibashi is perfect for everybody, whether you're 20 or 120. If you've ever been in a large city and went by a park and saw 100 Asian people out there moving, you've probably seen some of them doing Shibashi. It's very common as like a morning exercise in many Asian communities. And there's multiple sets of Shibashi. There's not just one. So you may have seen people just doing their morning movement in the park. I had an opportunity in San Francisco. I was eating breakfast in a restaurant and the park across the street. I swear there had to be 200 people in that park, and they weren't all Asian, which is rewarding, doing their morning practice. And I picked out quite a few of them doing the Shibashi that I recognized. So it's movement. It is a sequence of 18, but it's only as challenging as you choose it to be. So I'm a big proponent of Shibashi, obviously. I love it. I like to do it every day. Now, after class, I'm going to send you some class notes. I'm going to detail brush the knee today in the notes. That's the more complicated one of this sequence. So that's going to be the one I detail in the notes. So if you're practicing between now and when I see you at the next class, here's the words to describe to you what we do in brush the knee. Request the recording and you'll see us doing it, and hopefully that'll help you start building that mind-body connection for that form. And the others in the sequence are a lot easier than the initial brush the knee. I need to come up with a cute name for this sequence so that the form and the sequence aren't the same name. It gets confusing. But also in the class notes will be some recommendations of other classes you can take. I will guarantee you if I have an option to include Shibashi, it will be in this list. And then you just click on it and go to it. And of course, Tai Chi for beginners. Sometimes it's there where I can select it from the list. Sometimes it's not. So I try to put my classes here, but there will be something interesting in this list. Maybe something that you have never tried, like here, fun games to play on Zoom. A lady on Get Set Up, I don't remember her name. She does some of the most fun games. I went and joined them one day, and it was a lot of fun. So check it out. Check out all these classes. You might be surprised what piques your interest in a new direction. But what I'm supposed to really promote here is give feedback. We want to know what you're thinking. So if you see that orange give feedback button, please click it. You'll get a box like this on your computer and something similar on your phone. Here you can select 1 to 5 stars for the class, for the session, and you can click 1 to 5 stars for me. And if you should so choose to give 5 stars, and please don't hesitate, if you feel like giving 5 stars, step right up there and do it. But if you give a low mark or a high or a good mark, we'd love to have your comments about what influenced your mark. If you want to give a low score, please explain why so I know what to improve. And if you're willing to, bring it up in class and verbally tell me that, you know, like a lady yesterday said, can you put more light on your feet? But I turned on this little lamp and all of a sudden everybody could see my feet so much more clearly. What a great idea. So I'm probably going to be using that. But I never would have thought of it without her feedback. So your feedback is very important. If there's something else we could improve, like the scheduling or the timing, or you want more classes, put that in the box at the bottom. And then, of course, click Done. The Get Set Up community, I'm a big advocate. I love this community. So spread the word. We all want to tell our friends and family, loved ones, and heck, I'm even out there telling strangers, come try Get Set Up. And if there's a class you want, maybe you really enjoy crocheting napkins or knitting baby booties, suggest the class. If you want to learn new ways to crochet baby booties, suggest a class in it. Or if you know how to do it, propose that you teach it. Or maybe just do an interest group. Once a week or once every 2 weeks, just you start up the session and say, hi, I'm a crocheter. I love baby booties. Here's one of my plans I use. Do you have some you do? And people are just, we all love to share. So we jump into these interest groups and we all talk. You just have to turn it on and get it started. We partner with assisted care, senior living, government agencies, and community organizations. So if you're associated to any of those, please share the contact information with us and we'll reach out to them. Just send it to help@getsetup.io. You may not be familiar with it, but we already have an association with the state of Michigan and the state of New York. So we're growing, and a lot of that's due to ideas you've given us. Now, today's session was recorded. You can thank Max for that. By the way, you can thank Max for being there today. Having a TA always helps, and I'm very appreciative of him. But he's sitting there with a session recording that he made. So email help@getsetup.io and tell them you'd like a copy of that recording, and they'll hook you up, and you can use that till I see you again. And that's it. Let me get rid of the stop share and bring the screen back. And we have 2 minutes if anybody wants to ask a question or make a suggestion or I don't know, say hello and giggle maniacally, you know, if you just want to say something. Any questions? Okay, if no one's got a question, I'm going to terminate class, close it out, but I'm going to tell you, hope to see you again soon in Shibashi and or beginner Tai Chi beginner. be good, take care of yourself, because the only way you can take care of your loved ones and your friends is if you take care of yourself first. Do that. Hopefully see you soon. Bye-bye.